How to find houses to flip on Zillow. Do you think there's no deals left on Zillow? Well, I'm going to tell you how we find deals on Zillow every single week. Most investors scroll right past those deals on Zillow because they don't know what they're looking for. I'm going to show you exactly what to look for and what we look for. If you've been ignoring Zillow, then you're missing out on flips that are sitting there right in plain sight. In this video, you're going to learn how to find deals on Zillow without getting lost in the endless listings they have out there. So why does Zillow still work? Well, the beauty of Zillow is every single house that's on the market and even houses that are not on the market are listed on there. So you have access to information. When I first got started, if you wanted to have access to houses that were for sale, you had to get an MLS book. I'm not kidding. It was about that thick and it came out about every week, and the only person that had it was real estate agents, and you had to go get it from them. The print was so small that even in my 20s, I couldn't really read it without a magnifying glass, but that's how we had to go through listings. Now, we're spoiled. We can literally pick up our phone and scroll through or go on a computer and find every bit of information that we need. With that information, if you know what you're looking for, you can narrow down your search. Now, is it easy to find things on Zillow? It's easy to find them. Is it easy to score a deal on Zillow? Not always, mainly because you are up against a lot of other competition, because a lot of times the deals that are on Zillow are also on the public MLS or multiple listing service. That means any deal in the public market or the public eye will have a lot more eyeballs of investors like you who are looking at it and going to attack that deal. I'm going to show you how to use filters to figure out what deals might be good deals that other investors are skimming right by and don't see. So on Zillow, I want you to use the search tab, and then I want you to use the filters. This is where you're going to become a genius real estate investor. I want you to set up filters to look for specific words. One is DIY or do it yourself. Those are people that are saying, this property has some problems. I want to have you take a look at it. Maybe you want to do it yourself. Look for things that say fire damage. Look for properties that say need TLC or tender loving care. That is a seller's way of saying this property needs a little bit of love, and that's what you want as an investor. Look for words like motivated seller. Look for phrases like estate sale. Also, look for this term, handyman special. Again, that's a seller saying, my property has a lot of problems and I'm hoping that you will take it off my hands. That's usually early signs of you finding a motivated seller, and motivated sellers are where the deals are at. Earlier I mentioned fire damage. I want you to also include words like mold in there. So you have fire damage, you have mold, then look for foundation issues. Now this is for more of an advanced real estate investor. If you're dealing with foundation issues, here's how I look at everything. Everything that you buy in a house like this, anything can be fixed with a contractor. You're not doing the work yourself, so even the higher levels can be fixed. But these are houses that a lot of new investors will stay away from. If you're brand new, I don't recommend getting into foundation problem homes, because a problem there can quickly escalate from a $5,000 repair to a $25,000 problem. So be careful there. Mold is the same thing. Depending on the area of the country you're in, the kind of regulations they have around mold, you have to be very careful when dealing with mold. However, usually those things are just a few $1,000s to repair. I mentioned fire damage. Now, fire damage will scare a lot of people off, but everything can be repaired with money and with someone else that knows how to do it. You're not doing the work yourself. The scarier a house looks, the worse that it smells, the better that deal usually is for you as an investor. So get used to those nasty smells and scary looking properties, because that's where deals lie on public sites like Zillow. Now, I wanted to create this search and then save this search in Zillow. Create push notifications so that every morning when you wake up, you get to see that listing. Even create a notification where every time one is listed, it pops into your inbox immediately so you can jump on that property. The first thing I want you to do is to look at the pictures. Pictures tell a lot. Believe it or not, when you look at the pictures of the house, remember, they're always trying to put their best foot forward in most cases, but in the DIY or do-it-yourself or handyman special or even fire damage properties, sometimes they'll just have the picture of the outside of the house and not the inside of the house, and that may or may not be a good sign for you. That means it's usually pretty bad. But one thing you can look for on a house on pictures is it vacant? When they took the pictures, is there any furniture in the home? Are there any paintings on the wall? Or does it just look bland? What do you see? Is it a mess? Does it look like a tenant just moved out and left it in complete disarray? These are the things you want to look for because those will be signs of a motivated seller, and those will be signs that somebody wants to get out of that property. Because remember, if they are sitting on that property and no one's living in the house right now, it is costing them money. If you don't know about holding costs, make sure you check out our channel and you can learn all about holding costs and why they make people motivated sellers on our channel. Now, I want you to look for houses that come back on the market after they went pending. What does that mean? So I am a house seller and I am negotiating to sell my house and I get a contract. I'm all excited. And then that contract falls through for some reason. As a seller, that's frustrating because now you're saying to yourself, oh, man, I thought I had a buyer, now it fell through. And it comes back on the market. So when you look in the history and you see pending and then back on market, right? When you see a BOM or back on market, that's a good sign for you because that seller is starting to get very motivated. It might be time for you to reach out, see what happened. How bad was the situation? Was that house just really in bad disarray? Was it the buyer didn't have financing? How motivated is that seller now? Because many times on Zillow, the other party has an agent listing that property for them. So you'll have your agent deal with them, or you can deal with the agent directly. Along that same vein, look for DOM or days on market. Any properties in this market that are over 30 days old and don't have an offer means one of two things. Usually it's priced too high or the damage is too great, especially for the price. Almost always it just means the property is priced too high because in my opinion, almost every house in America has a price someone's willing to pay for it. The real question is the seller able to take that price or willing to take that price? They may owe too much on the house to make it worth their while. So you want to ask yourself when you see a house listed over 30 days, what is the problem? It might be worth doing some investigation. So look at houses that are listed over 30 days. If you see houses that are listed for 6 months or a year, there's probably a major problem with that. It doesn't mean you don't look though, because a lot of investors see 6 months on market and just walk away and wipe their hands and say, that has got to have problems. I want nothing to do with that. When really it might be the motivated seller is just finally ready to take $50,000 less for their offer and no one has offered it to them in so long. That's when you swoop in and make the deal. Don't miss opportunities like that. They're right in front of your face, but you have to capitalize. If you don't act, they don't even know you're interested. I want you to look for rental houses that also look vacant in the pictures. If a landlord has a home and it's vacant, they could very well be a motivated seller. Hey, I own 50 properties myself, and sometimes my homes are vacant and they're vacant for 2 or 3 months and I'm losing money. If somebody called me with a great offer, I might sell. Probably not for the price they want to pay because I'm an investor. But you understand the point is that some landlords will say, you know what, I'm ready to sell this house. How do you know if they're vacant? Well, again, take a look at the pictures. Also, take a look at the rental history on that property. If you see a property's been on the market for 15, 30, 45 days and it has not sold yet, it might be time to just do a simple reach out. You can actually go through a lot of different softwares. You can do skip tracing. Again, go to our channel and learn how to do all these techniques. Find skip tracing, find the owner and say, listen, are you looking to possibly sell this house? I see you're trying to rent it and it's vacant. Are you open to selling the house? Just start a conversation and see where it goes. Here's some red flags I'd probably avoid. Luxury housing. Not a big fan of luxury housing in any market, because sometimes if it's a really hot market and you want to get those markets can really turn quickly. You might get stuck with those houses, so be careful. Odd layouts are also something else that are not great. If you see something with a really small kitchen or really small bedrooms, or just a peculiar layout that's a 2,000 square foot home, but it's only got 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, and it's got a small kitchen, and it's got a weird, indoor pool that's 20 years old off the side. I've seen all those things. Just be really careful of things like that that might get you down the wrong path. Let's talk for a minute about FSBOs. FSBO stands for for sale by owner, and they suck. Don't go after for sale by owners. Most of the time, those sellers think their home is worth $1 billion. I've never had a great deal where someone listed for sale by owner and didn't think that they were amazing. You know something else about for sale by owner people? No offense if you're a for sale by owner person, but sometimes they're kind of know-it-alls. They kind of think they know everything about real estate. They're not going to pay a commission after all because that's a waste of money. Okay, good for you. So I would just be very careful on going after for sale by owner properties. If you want to call a few and find out yourself, good luck. Maybe you'll prove me wrong. If you do, Put a comment here, I'd like to know. Now, consistency is key. I want you to own your market. You have to know what the median sales price is. You have to know what every house is for sale that's a motivated potential seller in your area. Even retail homes, you should know what they are in your area. If you own your area and somebody says to you, hey, how about that house over there on Peacock Street? You should say, oh yeah, the blue one? Yeah, I know about that house. You should know about those houses because it's so easy in today's world to study those. And if you live locally, which most people do as investors, drive those streets, own them. Get to understand what they're like, what the neighborhoods are like, what houses are run down, what houses are not run down, what house needs a new roof. If the more you drive and take notes and just get used to a small area, even just a 10-block area, and get to know those properties, you will own and you will dominate. Remember, as a real estate investor, you don't have to do 50 deals a year or 100 deals a year like I do to make a great living. If you're making an average of $50,000 a flip, if you could just do 2 houses a year, it's an extra $100,000 in your pocket. So, own your area and know it because you want to be the smartest guy in the room when the topic of real estate investing comes up. So once you find a home that has fire damage, foundation damage, or it has TLC or whatever it might be, don't be overwhelmed by the price that you see. That is not relevant. You want to know what you can pay for the house to make a profit. We call that our MAO, or maximum allowable offer. In our channel, we have videos specifically designed to teach you how much you can offer on that house to keep your profits intact, so be sure and check it out. The one thing you can't do on Zillow is look at Zillow every few weeks and see if a deal pops up. You will never find a deal because by the time you find it, someone like me will swoop in and buy that house from underneath you. So you be the person swooping and getting your own deal for yourself by owning the market and being consistent and staring at Zillow every single day. It takes a few minutes. Just own it. Zillow only works if you know exactly what you're looking for. Otherwise, it becomes just more endless scrolling online. So go look at the next video where I teach you exactly where you should be putting your focus right now to know exactly what properties you should be flipping to make a profit, which will eventually get you to your goals in life. Go check out that video now. The link is right here in the description.